Welcome back to Swift and Sturdy. Today we're bringing you the second match in Daniel and I's best of 3 set. So if you haven't seen the first match or the first episode, then go ahead and click that link right there and go check it out. So jumping right back in here, I know now to watch out for Slowbro and keep that Malamar from setting up like he did last time. So for this match I decided to start off with Smeargle instead of Sableye because Smeargle is a more proper lead, and I know that Sableye, he wasn't that useful in the last match, so there's really no point in leading with him this time. So I go out to Smeargle and go ahead and go straight away for the hazards because Daniel leads off with Klefki. I know that Klefki is just going to try to do status problems and all that kind of stuff. I'm not really afraid of that as Smeargle because my only objective is setting up hazards. So after I get up my Stealth Rocks, I decide not to go for Sticky Web after I learned my lesson with Malamar. So instead I go straight for Spore, hoping to just sleep it for the future. But luckily for me, Daniel actually does switch out for Malamar, probably expecting me to go for the Sticky Web. But instead I go for the Spore, and that's really nice because I landed it on the switch-in. And of course that'll use up his Lumberry and allow me to go for Spore again without breaking Sleeping Claws. And for those of you who don't know, Sleeping Claws just means, or Sleep Claws, just means I can only sleep one of his Pokemon at a time on purpose. It's a rule by Smogon, you don't have to follow it, but I just feel like it's a nice thing to do. Either way, Smeargle's poison, but I don't really care about that. I'm going to switch straight out into Scissor for the threat because, of course, this is going to do quadruple the damage to Malamar. And I'm not afraid of it because, of course, I've already put it to sleep, and it's only its second turn of sleep, I believe, so I'm not too worried about it waking up. I go straight for U-turn, obviously, because even if he switches, I get switch advantage for whatever he switches into. So since he goes back into Klefki, I U-turn out to Excadrill, because Excadrill is a pretty nice check for Klefki, because Klefki's two most popular status moves, Toxic and Thunder Wave, Excadrill is immune to both. So I know that I don't have to worry about those status problems, and since he didn't go first, I'm assuming that Daniel went for Foul Play there. And of course Excadrill outspeeds Klefki unless it's using a Prankster move, so I'm able to just take it out with an Earthquake. So then Daniel goes into Heliolisk and immediately switches out. And he told me later it's because he remembered that the Focus Blast didn't quite take out Excadrill last time, so I would have been able to nail him with an Earthquake. So instead he goes into his trusty Tankerific Slowbro, and I'm able to hit it with an Earthquake on the switch-in, which is pretty nice, but of course Slowbro is just way too tanky, and even an Earthquake from an Excadrill is not enough to take that sizable of a chunk out of him. So I go for Rock Slide after that to try and land a flinch, and I was really lucky because I actually got it. So I figure, I'll just go for another Earthquake, and hopefully that'll take it out, but I should really stop assuming that with Slowbro, that anything will ever take it out. So I get hit with a Scald, and of course, again, Daniel lands the burn on my Excadrill, making that useless, just like it happened with Scissor last time. So I know I need to save Scissor for this, and I'm still, worried about Trick Room coming out, because, of course, Slowbro carries it, and that's what kind of ruined my team last time. And since he still has Mega Amphi left on his team, I really, really don't want that to happen. I don't want his Mega Amphi to come out and start sweeping my team in Trick Room. So Daniel used Protect back there because, of course, I'm burned, so I'm taking residual damage and he's healing with leftovers. So I go for another Earthquake when I get the chance, but it still is not going to do enough because now he's burned and does a lot less damage. So Excadrill goes down after another Scald. Just Slowbro just survives everything. So I go into Sableye. This is where I'm hoping to taunt his Slowbro, but Daniel carries Oblivious on his Slowbro. And I sped up this part because it's a whole lot of stall here, because after I figure out that I can't taunt away his Trick Room, I know that there's no reason for me to keep trying, obviously, because he's immune to it, and so I just try burning the Slowbro and stalling it out with my own priority recovers, because of course my Sableye has recover as well. And unfortunately, because I don't have Foul Play by this point, because back then my Sableye wasn't leveled enough to know Foul Play, I can't just take this out with a foul play. And I'm still worried this entire time that Daniel's going to use Trick Room in the last turn that he knows that Slowbro is going to be alive. So I go straight for Zen Headbutt on that last turn, trying to take him out as soon as possible. But unfortunately, he still survives with 1 HP. So both Sableye and Slowbro are going to die to the burn at the same time, which, you know, works out well, because of course Sableye isn't going to be really good for anything else, and now that I know that I can't even taunt his Slowbro, it's completely useless. So I go into Charizard, which is really nice for me because Daniel goes out into Heliolisk, and if there's anything I learned from last time, it's that of course I can set up on it. So I Mega Evolve and go straight for Dragon Dance as Daniel makes the wise decision to switch out using Volt Switch. Does a decent amount of damage for being a non-effective move, actually. But either way, I'm powered up, but Daniel brings in the Tyranitar, that special Tyranitar that he started off with last time, putting it to a lot better use here against Mega Charizard, and he's going to get the Sandstorm up right as I land my Dragon Dance that I went for on the Heliolisk. But I am not feeling comfortable enough to try to take on this Tyranitar because, of course, I am positive it's carrying Ancient Power, which will do a lot of damage to my Mega Charizard, and I'm also pretty confident that I won't be able to take it out with a +1 Earthquake because Tyranitar is very bulky. So I go straight into Azumarill, which, of course, takes the Ancient Power as I expected. And also, as expected, Daniel switches out. So I go straight for the Play Rough rather than the Waterfall because he has a couple electric types in there, and Heliolisk has Dry Skin, so he would have just absorbed a water move anyway. And even if he stayed in with Tyranitar, Play Rough is still super effective against Tyranitar. So I take out Heliolisk, which is really nice, but this gives Daniel an opportunity to go into his Amphi. And I go for Play Rough again, I believe. Yeah, I go for Play Rough again because I figure he might Mega Evolve, but Daniel makes the smarter decision and goes straight for a Thunderbolt. But it doesn't matter either way because I missed the Play Rough. Because Amphi, of course, gains Dragon typing, which would have made him more vulnerable to Play Rough. So I go into Charizard because I know I can outspeed it, obviously. Mega Amphi is extremely slow. He Mega Evolves again. And again, I'm not sure why, because he knew that I could take it out with an Outrage again, but instead I went for Earthquake expecting him to switch, so maybe he picked up on that. Either way, he is going to live that because, of course, it's not, didn't get the Tough Claws bonus. He's going to be able to take me out with Dragon Pulse. And, you know, Mega Charizard doesn't really have the greatest of special defenses anyway. So I go into Scissor, because that thing has such low health anyway. I'm not really worried about it, and go straight away for U-turn because this is a Choice Banded Scissor. I don't want to take any chances with being stuck with a move that I don't want to use. And I switch back out to my Smeargle because by this point all I have left is Smeargle and Scissor. And I think by this point he only has Malamar left, if I am not mistaken. Oh, of course he has the Tyranitar. So he goes into Malamar, who's still sleeping, and I'm pretty sure he's hoping to wake up during one of these turns that, you know, Smeargle's out because Smeargle can't really do anything. Smeargle doesn't have any attacking moves. So I go into Scissor, of course, and go straight away for U-turn because it does quadruple damage against Malamar, who is Psychic and Dark type. And there is the proper damage for a Choice Banded U-turn against Malamar, not a Burn Scissor against a +3 defense Malamar. Either way, I'm forced to, again, to go out to Smeargle because it's the only other Pokemon I have left. But this is actually really nice for me because, of course, his last Pokemon is Tyranitar. And now that the Malamar's dead, he doesn't have any more sleeping Pokemon, so it is perfectly fair for me to go ahead and go for a Spore. And I'm able to put that thing to sleep. And that pretty much seals the deal right there, because as we saw last time, Scissor is easily able to take out this Tyranitar in one hit, and now that it's sleeping, I have pretty much a free switch in, so I don't have to worry too much about getting Fire Blasted on the switch. Yeah, so I go ahead and do that right now, and it would have been very unfortunate if you would have got the first turn Wake Up, but So yeah, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please go ahead and give it a like, and if you haven't already, consider subscribing. We're trying to put out as many of these videos as we can for you guys to enjoy. I'm planning on uploading more recent matches next, because Daniel and I and all of our friends have, of course, much better teams, much better Pokemon now, and they're a collection of much more interesting matches, I think. So that's the plan next, but go ahead and leave us a comment whether or not you want us to upload the finale of this set. The original plan was not to upload the finale, and that's because it's not as interesting as a match as these first two were. And that is to say, it wasn't as close. But if you're still interested in the result, we'll go ahead and put that episode up as well. So let us know. See you next time.